So, per usual, I do take video requests. I'm going to remind you again, please do not put the video request in the comments section below. If you don't know why, I'll explain why real quick. Number one, if you're going to request a video, I want it to be in the personal message because it's a request. When you just comment in below, talk about this, it feels more like a demand. And that's kind of, I'm not a big fan of that. Personal message me so that you and I can go over what you're requesting, go over the exact specifics of what you're requesting, because sometimes I've gotten requests wrong or I've embellished a little bit too much to the point where the subscriber's original question wasn't even there. So personal message me so that I know what it is exactly you want me to talk about. The other reason is I hold the right to refuse any request. Like if you comment down below and people see it, they're probably going to expect that I'm going to do it, but maybe if I find it uninteresting or don't want to talk about it, then suddenly I look like a dick because they're like, Britt, where's this video this dude requested? I decided not to do it. You look like a dick. Don't make me look like a dick. And the third reason is, if you're going to request a video, let it be a fucking surprise. If they see it in the comments section, then they might know that I'm going to talk about it, and it's not a surprise anymore. Anywho, I can't remember who requested this, but I was reminded by my buddy Adam Buskirk that I needed to go over this video. So if Adam, if you requested it, okay. I don't know who originally requested this, so I can't really give the credit to anybody. But the title says it all. I'm going to talk about some games that I would like to see remastered or put into collections. Because when it comes down to it, this trend isn't going away, so we might as well try to ask for some good games instead of fucking Bulletstorm. I joke, of course. I like Bulletstorm, but that didn't need a fucking remastered. That's not a timeless classic that needs to be re-updated for current gen. You could buy that on 360 and PS3 unless you're a lazy fuck that sold your system and bought a PS4 and Xbox One. By the way, don't do that. Keep your systems. God, people are stupid. Anyway, I've got a little stack of games down here, and I'm going to go through some games that I would like to see remastered or put into a collection. I will specify which is which. Like, I'll hold up just one game. I'm not going to hold up like the entire series because Final Fantasy is probably going to be the first thing I talk about, and that would take too long to hold up all those games. So let's go over this. First and foremost, I would like to see a Final Fantasy Anthology released. Now, what I mean when I say Final Fantasy Anthology, I mean Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Maybe skip the 13 saga, but then again, throw it in there if you have to, etc. I'd like to see an anthology of Final Fantasy games. Maybe even you could release some of those unreleased games that never made it to us. For instance, we all know that certain titles got called things they weren't. For instance, Final Fantasy VI was called 3 over here. So we missed out on a few different games that never got like a localization. Like I've even heard, through Pro Jared that the 2 that we got wasn't originally the 2 that we were supposed to have. So I would just like to see some sort of Final Fantasy compendium released where I can go through all of the games. It doesn't have, you don't have to go crazy and update. You can just put the PS1 ports or whatever, the digital ports, whatever, put them on there. Don't need to throw trophies on anything. Just give me a huge collection of games on a PS4 disc so that I can enjoy some of these on my PS4. That's all I'm asking for. I'd like to see it. A Final Fantasy compendium. That would be pretty neat to me. Next up, I'm only going to hold one game up, but I'd like to see this entire series get another collection, and that is of course the Legacy of Kain series. Now I am holding up Soul Reaver 1, but I'd like to see Legacy of Kain Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain Blood Omen 2, Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 2, and Defiance all thrown into a nice little collection. I think that would be pretty neat. There are people that don't know about these games, people that have never played them, and they're pretty fantastic little, action adventure games, and while they are a little bit clunky, let's be honest, Soul Reaver 2 was infinitely better playing than Soul Reaver 1. I like the dark brooding atmosphere, this world that kind of reminiscent of Dark Souls in the Soul Reaver series, at least, not in Blood Omen of course, but in the Soul Reavers, they're dark, decaying, destroyed worlds that have been ravaged by vampires and monsters, and it's interesting what this series could be if we were to get a collection and maybe revitalize the franchise a little bit. If not, just remake Soul Reaver for me, I'll be happy. Remake, not remaster. Alright, this next one, I understand that we got the very lackluster Shattered Memories, but I don't fucking like that game. They took way too many liberties with that title, and they kind of fucked up with the twist, implying that nothing else happened in this franchise outside of what was going on in that little girl's head. Pissed me off to no end. Shattered Memories sucks, but if they could remake Silent Hill kind of in the way that they did Resident Evil, I think that'd be pretty swanky. If you don't know, Silent Hill 1 is my favorite one. I admit that Silent Hill 2 is a great game, but everybody who sucks its dick and is like, ooh, Pyramid Head, drives me crazy. It's been ruining the franchise ever since. I find it to be a black omen on the franchise. And in all honesty, I don't think there needed to really be sequels. I think Silent Hill 1 really covered it quite well. There's a dark town where terrible things took place, demons and, you know, your dark spirits and your bad deeds and all that stuff just come out in this town, and I really liked it. I think that this first game is fantastic, and if they could remake it, that'd be fantastic, because I'd love to play this on PS4 with next-gen graphics and trophies and the multiple endings and the different things you could find and see and the notes you could read. It'd just be amazing to play again in prettier graphics. This is my favorite Silent Hill. I love this game. Now, I'm aware that they've been doing some Mega Man Legacy collections, and I love me some Mega Man. When it comes down to it, I'm a big fan of the Blue Bomber. I have been playing his games for as long as I can remember. But while I don't have the Mega Man Legacy collection yet, and I know they're doing a Legacy 2, or they have done, or they're whatever, there's going to be 2 of them, I look forward to getting both of those eventually. But what I'm really wondering is, when can I expect some Mega Man X Legacy? I have here the Mega Man X collection, and if you can tell by that stupid white line, I don't have an actual cover for this. But I was able to get a hold of the disc, and I stole a booklet from somewhere, so if I can just eventually get a real cover, I won't feel so stupid about this one I had to print out. But I love Mega Man X. I love it more than the original series. And when it comes down to it, I want to see a Mega Man X collection on PS4 and Xbox One. I think it'd be awesome. These games are quintessential Blue Bomber action. They are, and everybody calm down, better than the original franchise. They have better action, better characterization, way better music, better level design. Everything about Mega Man X is fucking perfect side-scroller action. And I'd love to see it come to next-gen consoles in a collection. Or just remaster the first game. Actually, don't remaster the first game. I already have that on PSP. Just give me a fucking collection. To be perfectly honest, not to be a downer to Kevin, they fucked up a lot of stuff in the Mega Man X Maverick Hunter on PSP. Like, it controls vastly different, and there's differences in the gameplay, and it's just, it's harder to play than the original. That's the problem I have with it, because the original was so tight and focused, and this one's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway, quite frankly. But I'd like to see a Mega Man X collection. This franchise is pretty storied, and I didn't get to play one of the latest ones that came out on the Wii U, and I was pissed off about that. But if I could get the first 3 games in this franchise in a collection for the PS4, that'd be awesome. The Fatal Frame series is some quintessential horror gaming right here. These games are freaky. Like, really messed up stuff. I'm not typically afraid of ghost stories, but the way that they make you look through the camera, have to focus on the enemies, it's just really well done. First game seems a little bit cheesy compared to the others. 2 is where they really hit their stride with the horror. But when it comes down to it, I think the Fatal Frame series is great. And it'd be nice for a new generation of gamers to be able to experience this, because, quite frankly, I don't hear anybody talk about it anymore, and it's depressing. Fatal Frame's awesome. Make it happen. Now, while I am going to hold up the 4th entry in this franchise, I think all of these deserve to be in a collection. Actually, maybe skip 2. I didn't like 2. But still, the Onimusha franchise. The reason we haven't gotten an Onimusha collection back on the PS3, and the reason we probably won't get a collection on PS4, is of course because Capcom are greedy cunts, and they don't want to pay the royalties to some of the actors portrayed within the franchise. Let's be honest, you've got Jean Reno in the 3rd game. Jean Reno, the professional. But if it ever were to happen, I'd like to see these games on PS4. The Onimusha games are pretty fantastic. Hell, I was reminded so much of Onimusha while playing through Neo. And when it comes down to it, my favorite one is, of course, Dawn of Dreams. But the first one's great, the 3rd one's amazing, the 2nd one is a piece of shit. But I'd buy it all over again just to play the other games on PS4. It'd be neat if I could get some sort of a collection of the Onimusha franchise. If you've never played Dawn of Dreams, you need to play Dawn of Dreams. Now this... shit, man. These games are pretty fucking cool. To be perfectly honest, the best one, in my mind, the best one, was the 3rd game, Future Perfect. But I'd like to see these games come back, either as a remastering or just a collection, something. If I was going to have any of these remastered, it'd be Future Perfect. But when it comes down to it, we are missing some Timesplitters action in the current FPS market. Timesplitters was some pure shooting. They were fun, they were fast, they were frenetic. They reminded me of, Serious Sam, Doom, all this interesting stuff going on, but with a more lighthearted take on it. And again, Future Perfect is the one that I really resonated with the most. As of right now, I don't have Timesplitters 2 or Future Perfect. I had them back on, I believe it was the Xbox or the GameCube, but I sold them so I could eventually find PS2 copies when my boy Kevin sent me this one. I haven't yet found those PS2 copies, so if you locate a PS2 copy of Timesplitters 2 or Timesplitters Future Perfect, let me know, because he's lonely. This game right here, shit, man. That's twice I've said shit, man, in this video. I want this game to be good, but it's just not in its current condition. So I think Microsoft should really step on it and remaster Advent Rising. This game has a lot of great ideas. It has a really good story. It's fun, it's neat, it's interesting. But it's just broken. If you've ever tried to play Advent Rising, you know that this game was pushed out the door way too fucking fast. And it's just a fragmented, buggy piece of shit right now. But there's a reason I hold on to it. I go by what I think about games, not what everybody else thinks about games. And I paid like $6 for this fucking thing. I like it. I want to like it more. But unless I go on PC and mod the fuck out of it so it works, I can't enjoy this game. And that's a shame. If it ever does get a remaster, I'll buy that shit day one on Xbox One. You can quote that. Alright. Let's be honest. I really want this franchise to get a collection on the PS4 because I love this franchise. And I had to take down my Let's Play because there was all that content ID stuff a while back. Like a while back when I deleted like over 200 fucking videos. I used to have a lot more videos, people. I've been deleting videos forever. Which is funny when people are like, oh god, look at this shitty YouTuber. You've been here forever and you've got nothing for views. I've deleted more videos with more views than any of your fucking videos. Suck it. I had 2 Minecraft videos with 10,000 views. I just randomly uploaded them and got 10,000 views. Deleted them. Don't give a fuck. Not here for views. Not here for popularity. I want this series to come back. I want a Dead Space collection. With Dead Space 2, Dead Space 2 Severed, Dead Space 3, and Dead Space 3 Awakened. I think that would be really good. And if I could play these on PS4 again, you bet your ass I'd do another Let's Play because it'd be fantastic. I love the Dead Space franchise. If you don't, you've never tried it out, you really need to because it's fantastic. I love it. I really hate when I say fantastic. Twice in a row, in rapid succession, it annoys me. I'd also like to see this series come back in a collection because I really enjoyed this series. I gotta be honest, there are a lot of people that have problems with certain games, like the way the franchises go. People didn't have a whole lot of love for the co-op in Dead Space 3, and this series had the same sort of co-op situation in its third entry. But I'd like to see a collection of the Fear games, if at all possible. I think Fear Files, that's Fear Extraction and Fear Perseus Mandate, Fear 2, Fear 2 Reborn, and Fear 3 would be amazing in a collection for PS4 and Xbox One. You get so much content there, so much fun, so many more trophies and achievements. And if I were able to get this on a collection, you bet your ass I'd do a Let's Play. It'd be great. It'd be on PS4 though. I'd have to buy 2 copies. One to enjoy on the Xbone and one to do a Let's Play on the PS4. I like my shooters on Xbox, leave me alone. Although they do play just fine on PS4 now. But the Fear series is pretty freaking great. If you've never tried them, I really recommend them. And if you're not a big fan of the original Fear and how clunky it is, kind of plays sort of like, fucking Time Shift and Doom 3. If you're not a fan of that, you could always start off with Fear 2, which has much better control and a little bit better gameplay. But if you really want to have fun, Fear 3 plays fantastic. It's not scary at all. But really, was this series ever scary? Be honest with yourself. Aside from cheap jump scares, did you have any dread or did you just go, oh, when stuff jumped out at you? It's an action shooter with some horror themes. Chill the fuck out about number 3. These last 2 games I'd just like to see remastered on the Xbox One. The reason being that they are great games. And while they are backwards compatible now, I still want to see them remastered. Because while one is fantastic and beautiful and perfect in every way, the other could probably use some work. I mean, one of them has a fully controllable 3D camera and the other doesn't, so that means that they could always remaster these. What games am I talking about? Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon. These are quintessential RPGs. If you've never played them, you probably didn't have a 360. But if you have an Xbox One, now is the time to get them. They are backwards compatible. Go buy them. They're good. Lost Odyssey is beautiful. It made me fucking cry. And Blue Dragon is fantastic. It's just fantastic. Akira Toriyama's art style, like, you know, classic Final Fantasy style, worlds to explore, baddies to fight, big bads to bring down. It's great. I love these games, and you will too. Let me know of any games that you'd like to see remastered or put into a collection for current gen. Did I miss anything that you think is really kind of quintessential? Are there any really old games that you'd like to see come out, like Rocket Knight Adventures? Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. And if you want me to have my spinal cord ripped out through my anus, go ahead and drop a dislike. Do take care, everybody.